Hi, everybody. I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Today's quote: receiving is great, giving is better. Before I get going, I kind of have a allergy thing going on, so hopefully that's not too distracting, and I can get through this. Think about some of the gifts that you have received, big or small, and then try to remember how it made you feel to receive that gift. Usually it's happy, you're joyful, you're excited, you're grateful over the gift. Maybe the gifts were special because of who gave them. Our children have given us gifts through the years, and homemade and handmade kinds of things when they were young, and it was just exciting. It was a goofy gift, but it's like, wow, look what they did. I have received some pretty nice things in my life, and it's always fun. Sometimes people have been pretty lavish in their giving to me, and it was truly a blessing. It was a little awkward. I went through a bubble for a while, I think, where I was just receiving major things, and I couldn't quite figure it out, and I found myself never saying I needed something because somebody was going to give it, and but it was truly a fun time. I can look at some of the things that I've been given, and still it's just overwhelming and exciting. I have met people in my life who don't want gifts. And I'm just like, what? You don't, and they make a big deal of it. I don't want anything, don't give me, and they get upset if you do. And I think that's a big mistake because you're missing out on some wonderful blessings. And you're also hindering people that are feeling like they want to give something to you. It could really be pride that's holding them back. Receiving is lots of fun. But our quote says that there is something way better than receiving. And it seems like nothing would be better than receiving. But there is one thing. And that's on the other end of receiving. It's being the giver. Giving is better. Jesus said, Jesus Christ, it is more blessed to give than to receive. The quote for today is my paraphrase of what Jesus said. The church where I pastored was a generous church, and we gave a lot of things to people who lived in our community when they were in need. We would try to step up and help out, and many times they were so caught off guard. It was exciting to watch them because they didn't go to our church. And yet here we were helping them in sometimes big way. It was just fun. It was fun as a church to celebrate that what we had given to somebody and how we got to help out. And the crazy thing is that we were a small church and a poor church. And yet we always managed to raise the money we needed to give. And we've given firewood to people and food and clothing and home repairs, and a hot water heater was purchased and installed. We've purchased prescriptions for people, gas for their car, helped them get their car fixed. And it was a fun experience to be a blessing to people, to help them out. And it was fun to do it with people who were not a part of our church. We wanted to be a blessing in our community, and that was one way we were able to do it. Giving is a principle that governs how your life goes. Jesus Christ taught that he said this interesting little principle: give and it will be given to you. It's almost like this boomerang. You throw this thing out and it'll come back to you. or come back close to you if you don't throw it right. And so the idea is what you put out is what's coming back. And what comes back is going to be more than what you put out. And he goes on to say that in this passage. It'll come back to you in a greater abundance than what you gave. And he says the measure you use with people, how you deal with people, is what is measured back to you. So if you're merciful and forgiving, that's how you'll be treated. If you refuse to forgive and you refuse to show mercy to people, that's how you'll be treated. If you're generous with people, that's how you'll be treated. If you're judgmental, critical of people, that's coming back. It's a powerful principle, and I don't think it's always in tangible ways. I don't think this is a way to get rich. I mean, I think when you give, you're going to receive, but sometimes it's in interesting ways. Sometimes think about, how do you feel about how people treat you? And you feel like nobody cares, or you feel unloved, or do you feel like you're not aware of any blessings in your life? You feel like life never gives you a break? Sometimes those feelings are indicators, are reminders to look at what you're putting out. Give, and it will be given to you in an abundant way. Some thoughts about giving. They're simple, but I think kind of encouraging. Giving will break the grip of materialism that causes us to be consumed with things and getting more. There's more to life than things, and giving will help you see that. Giving causes us to begin thinking of others, not just ourselves. There are many people around us, and many of them have needs. And when we choose to become generous, you'll find that you'll stop wondering and thinking about what you need, what you want, and you'll start thinking about other people. I wonder if they need this. Giving causes people to be grateful. And that's always powerful, because their gratitude will bless them even more than the gift that you've given. Generous people are happier. Research from a neurologist, Christian Smith, has shown how being generous triggers the endorphins, dopamine in our brain that makes us feel better. Jackson Brown says the happiest people are not those who are getting more, but those who are giving more. People who are generous are healthier. It lowers our stress level when we are generous. There was an experiment done in a lab, and people were hooked up to some monitors, and then they were put through some exercises about giving. And when people would give just a little bit, it revealed on the monitors that they were becoming stressed. But when they would give more than was asked of them in the exercise, their stress level would go down. That's interesting to me. People who are generous tend to worry less, which lowers their stress. Because generosity will make what you have appear more, and you'll be more content. People who are generous don't struggle with depression as often as people who are not. It lifts our moods. Giving is not only about money. It's about needs, whatever that need might be. And this is an interesting attitude to have in reference to giving. To begin to think that not everything you have is for you. I know that's hard. That's weird. But not everything you have is for you. When you get extra of something, it's good to ask. Since I don't really need this, I wonder if I'm going to get a chance to give. Or the other things that you have, I have more than I need of a lot of things. And that could be a potential opportunity to give. So before you use it, there's nothing wrong with using it, nothing wrong with keeping it. But sometimes when it's extra, if you'll just take a little bit and be patient and look, sometimes someone will cross your path that has that exact need. That gets exciting. So just start to try to adopt that belief that not everything we have is for us. So this means you're going to want to get started in giving. So a few ideas that might help kick it off. The first one is get started now. Don't wait. Decide to start and give what you can. And you're going to want to try to make this a lifestyle, not just a donation. I think it's better when you just decide, I want to be a generous person from this point on, the best I can. So get started now. And you start, number 2, look for needs. The helpful thing here is that wherever there are people, there will be a lot of needs. Even if they're wealthy people, there will be needs. So all we got to do is look at the people around us. People need help with things. They need time with somebody. They need to be listened to. They need food and clothing and a ride somewhere. They need help with their computer. They're frustrated. They need to be encouraged, or they need to receive a compliment for something they've done. They need support. There could be a family in your neighborhood whose child wants to join a soccer team or some sports team, and the family doesn't have enough money to do it. They can't pay for it. Maybe you could help. A family needs a Chromebook or a laptop for their kids for school. Maybe you can help. Can you see there's many needs? And all we need to do is look and listen, and you'll become aware of what's going on around you, and you might be able to help with something. Next, I think it helps to keep it simple. Sometimes giving gets so complicated, and the best giving is just giving, simple. No strings attached. Don't make it complicated. Freely you've received, freely give. Just relax. Don't expect anything in return. If they didn't thank you right, don't worry about it. Your job is just to be a giver, to pass on what you have. And don't explore how the gift is used. Just let them deal with whatever they need to deal with. Now, if you're giving to an organization, yeah, you should explore how they use your gift. But that's a different thing. We're just talking about helping people that are around us, that share the planet with us. Next, have fun with it. Giving is fun. I can attest to that. I've been involved in giving, and my wife and I have given to things through the years, and it's always fun. It's just a cool thing. So have fun with it. Be cheerful about it. Sometimes it helps to team up with a few people and say, hey, we want to give to this. Do you want in on it? And that's always fun. So it helps to keep a little extra on hands because you might get a chance to give and you want to be ready. And I think a good rule of thumb is just to keep in mind that giving is not making a donation. It's about making a difference in somebody's life. And that's always so fun, so exciting. Finally, learn to give as a family. There's no reason why, when you sit down together at the meal, that you couldn't talk about, hey, people down the street are really struggling. We're going to pull together some things and try to help them out. So if you have something, these are the needs, or if you want to chip in from your allowance, that's a good idea. And you're teaching how to be a giver, how to help people. And it helps your kids to learn this because they have friends who are hurting, who are struggling. And it begins to show them how to step up and help out. Receiving is great. No question about that. But giving is better. Hey, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was encouraging to you, and maybe it'll be enough to get you going on giving, and you'll never regret it. I've never regretted giving, and I know you won't. So maybe this has been helpful, and if it has been, I hope you'll click like, or maybe share it with somebody who needs to hear this, and maybe they'll get started with something that's going to bring some more meaning to their life. So thank you so much for listening. It always means a lot. It's like your gift to me, so I appreciate that a lot. And until next time, I hope you have a healthy and happy week.